Alrighty guys, good morning everybody. Happy Saturday to everyone here. Hope you guys are having a great morning so far, even though it basically just started for most of us here. But anyways guys, hope everyone's doing good. Glad to have y'all here. Let's go ahead and see who we got ourselves here in the chat. We have Liam, we have Aiden. Been chatting with them for a little bit. We have Andrea. Let's see here. We have Mary. We have, let's see, Raina. Let's see, we have Dawn. We have David. What's up, guys? Hope everyone's doing good. Glad to have y'all here for this morning's update here regarding the tropics and the overall situation here with Hurricane Lee. So, yeah, we got some new information for you guys we got to be talking about here. Let's see, Black Label Express says good morning, Andrew. Good morning to you as well. Justin says good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing good. Let's say good morning to everybody. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the current state of the storm real quickly. You know, before we really dive into the future, we need to understand what's going on. In the current state, like I said, right now, this thing is barely a Category 3. It is a Cat 3, but barely. We're talking sustained winds of 115 miles per hour with wind gusts getting up to right around 140. So the system, like I said, is definitely, you know, weakened a lot since yesterday because it was actually dealing with a lot of moderate wind shear. We had a bit of wind shear that was pulling up to the north, and it was basically, you know, kind of like, you know, ripping apart the storm like we were mentioning before, you know, with those winds that hit the storm that are not from the storm itself, but they kind of, you know, shred apart the storms, and they don't like it. Lee did not like that one bit. But anyways, but yeah, no, sustained winds of 115 gusts up to 140, and the pressure is now at 963. Now, this thing actually is forecasted to weaken even more into a Category 2 hurricane here by later on this afternoon. By tomorrow morning, still a Category 2, but look at this. It's supposed to go under strengthening again. Looks like it is going to strengthen as it pulls away from that wind shear there. It looks like that strengthening trend is going to really start here for basically the 10th. So basically from today, you know, today it's just going to be a slight down slope, and then it's going to kind of go right back up. So it is going to be picking back up here in intensity overall over the next couple of days. Let's see here. What's up, Roadster? Hope you're doing good. Let's see here. You already said hi to me, Aiden. Oh. I thought I was wondering. Wait, what? I was like, I'm not Aiden. Let's see here. But like I said, yeah, if you guys are just now joining us, good morning to you all. Hope you guys are having a great morning. So let's go ahead and hop over here to the models. I'm sure that's what you guys are probably curious of seeing. But first, let me actually show you guys the satellite view. I wanted to show you guys, you know, what's going on with the satellite view here in the current state. So the storm yesterday, you remember the left-hand side was getting really seriously cut off. It looks like a big blob right now, because it kind of is. I mean, look at this thing. It is basically just a really big blob of convection overall. We got ourselves, you know, some pretty big convection still happening there towards the center of the storm. It's trying to regroup and reorganize itself after the wind shear incident. But overall, I mean, you can see it's kind of broken up in some areas. I mean, it's not looking as healthy as it was, but honestly, I think it's looking a little bit better than it was here last night. I mean, you can see a lot of convection there by the eye has been happening, or the center of the storm, I should say, has been happening here overall. Let's see. I Love Chicken says, howdy, and God bless y'all. You as well. Thank you for joining. Let's see. Roadster says it looks pretty messy. It does. It does look a little messy. Definitely not the way it looked like, a day and a half ago. I mean, the system was pretty daggone crazy overall. But yeah, no, the system here, like I said, obviously is, it looks like it's trying to regroup itself. It's trying to kick back off. Like I said, we got some pretty strong convection still happening there towards the center. So it's trying. It's definitely trying here overall. And like I said, once again, we're looking at the overall verdict of, the main hurricane center's track. We are talking, like I said, kind of a small weakening trend, and it's going to kind of even out, and then it's going to pull back up in intensity. Seems to be the good possibility overall. But yeah, definitely have to look out for it. Let's see. What's up, Chris? Hope you're doing good. Good morning to you. But anyways, yeah, let's go and hop over to the models, guys. Let's go and bring y'all over here. In terms of the latest and greatest weather models, we're going to start off here with the GFS like we usually do. Because like I said, obviously we start off with the American model, then we go to European, and then we'll take a look at the CMC. So the verdict is, in the current moment, this thing is actually pretty daggone close to the Lesser Antilles right now. I mean, it is basically just, shyly to the northeast of the Lesser Antilles. I'm trying to get a measurement for you guys. Let's see here. So from like the northern side of the island, the tropical storm force winds are like 250 miles to the northeast of the Lesser Antilles right now, overall. But yeah, no, let's go and hop you guys over here to the GFS. So we work our way down in time here. You can see the time, y'all, is in the top right. If you guys want to follow along, that's the time in Eastern time, remember. So basically, for the first 48 hours, just continue northwest gradual movement. According to the GFS, this thing does pick up some strength, which, is expected as it runs out of that wind shear, which is good for the storm overall. But then we start to pull to the north here still, according to the, GFS, right around the morning of September 13th. The reason we're having this is because we have ourselves, here, let me actually change colors here. We got ourselves a low pressure system. It's going to be, oh, that's a really big L. There we go. Low pressure system is going to be swinging down a cold front. Now, this cold front's going to, rush the air to the north. Because the thing about cold fronts is they kind of move like this, right? So you have the low pressure system, which, rotates counterclockwise. That's the kind of path that these, that's the kind of wind direction that these these cold fronts typically make, is you get a lot of warmer air pulling to the north, which is increasing the wind shear that's going to steer the storm to the north. You get yourself a, the wind's continuously moving and wrapping around the cyclone, which is this guy right here. That's a low pressure. And of course, you get some cooler air that rolls in from behind. That's where the cold front comes from, because it's replacing the warm air with the cold air. But yeah, so like I said, the winds are going to increase right across Florida with this system here overall. And because of this, like I said, this thing's going to be steering to the north, because those winds are going to be pushing it. For example, let me actually go ahead and show you. So there's the winds right there. You can see right there where I marked. I mean, it is like right over Florida. So that should keep the storm away from Florida, except for the people who's wondering about Florida. Florida's not going to get hit by this storm here. It's not forecasted to, as it's expected to still continually gradual movement to the north. So to my friends out there in Florida who's worried about the storm, you should be fine. You should be mighty fine with the system. The only thing I would say, and like I said, that's what I've been mentioning for the last little bit, is the threat here for the possibility of some coastal flooding could be a possibility, from some of those bigger waves that we're going to be seeing there. Some rip currents and swelling overall is the big deal across the coast out there. Let's see, Andrea says, got a question. Is there any severe weather moving to Memphis? Not anytime soon. Not today, anyways, I should say. Yeah, not today, you don't have anything. Mark says, good morning, buddy. Good morning to you, Mark. Let's see, how is it looking for western Nova Scotia? So, continue with the models. I'll show you. So the latest GFS has this thing continually moving to the north, kind of scraping right next to Bermuda. I mean, it gets really daggone close. That little speck right there, that's Bermuda. So according to the GFS, it looks like Bermuda might get those tropical storm force winds potentially here. And then this thing continues to move to the north. Now the GFS still has this thing hitting Nova Scotia there, unfortunately. Right there kind of for the western side like you're talking about. So the GFS still supports it, hitting right there towards Nova Scotia, as we are going to have a ridge of high pressure that's going to be in place across the mid-Atlantic and northeast here. And that's almost, like I said, it's going to be acting as kind of a shield to keep it away from the United States. For the most part, I should say, for more of the mid-Atlantic and southeastern side. Now, according to the GFS, yeah, this thing's going right towards Nova Scotia, which, you can see it's actually getting real close to, like, areas in Massachusetts, like Cape Cod and those areas there. Could be in for, a little bit of a surprise if this model does verify. And, of course, we have ourselves the other storm out here as well. The one that's going to be rolling through. That's the big thing, is that, yeah, yesterday the models were showing this guy, this other hurricane, like, right next to it. It seems like that's backed off a lot ever since. So, overall, it does look like this thing is going to be pulling very close to, like I said, portions of Nova Scotia here, potentially, according to the GFS model. Now, let's go and hop over here to the moisture really quickly before we switch over to the European perspective. So, like I said, right now, in the current state, the storm is expected just to, continue punching through. Like I said, right now, it's expected to weaken a little bit here. It is forecast to weaken just a little bit, but then it's supposed to strengthen right back up. It is forecasted to become a Category 4 again, which I'll go ahead and show you guys the track really quickly. So here's the latest Hurricane Center outlook. So right now it's a Cat 3, like I was saying. Sustained winds of 115 with gusts up to 140. Central pressure of 963 millibars. Then, like I said, it drops a bit. Then it picks back up some strength, and then at the end of the table here for basically September 14th, it shows it dropping back to Category 3 status. So we are expecting a little dip for lower intensification. So it is weakening ever so slightly, but then it's supposed to pick back up strength here. Supposed to become a potential hurricane once again for the morning of the 11th. So for the morning of the 11th, it looks like we are possibly going to be seeing this thing back in the Cat 4 status. I mean, right now it's a major hurricane. It's expected to go to Cat 2 this afternoon, as it's still, is kind of recovering from battling that wind shear overall. And it's going to take a few days to do that. But once it gets its, self back on track, it's going to, kick itself back up together here, and it should continue to the northwest, or sorry, kind of the west-northwest, and then gradually turn to the north here overall. Now, if you guys are wondering what this is, what these color things are, that's your probability of tropical storm force winds. So you can see there's a really low chance that some of the northern Lesser Antilles, portions here of Puerto Rico, like a 5 to 10% chance of, Puerto Rico seeing potentially, like I said, tropical storm force winds. Very low. It seems very low at this point. I'm not worried about it. The thing I will say though for those regions is you got to watch out for the the overall coastal flooding. That's a big threat. That's a big deal across those regions. And let me actually go ahead and show you guys the ECMWF model, kind of showing you guys kind of showing essentially what is going on. Let's see if I can pull out the East Coast U.S. and we'll go ahead and bring out the waves here. Here we go. Let's see here, 06 Zulu. All right, let's go and hop you guys over here back to my main screen. So, that's what I'm talking about. So, let's see. Maybe that's not the best way to look at this. Let's find a different, see, North America, that might be that's really the only way we can look at it. So, according to the, according to this here, obviously those waves you can see out here, the waves right off the coast of the northern Lesser Antilles, as well as there towards Puerto Rico. It's in that, kind of orange color table. Which is showing at least, up to 10 feet of waves, or 10-foot waves, I should say, which is, definitely a little interesting, overall. Let's see here. Gotta get to more. Let's see here. Andrew says March 28th, April 2. There is also severe weather threat or higher for March. We're a little far away from March. Just a little bit. Let's see here. But good morning, Allie. Hope you're doing good. Let's see here. We have Ava. What's up, Ava? Hope you're doing all right. Let's see here. We got Patricia saying just started watching. How is Florida doing, please? So Florida, like I said, I think Florida's fine. Florida, I think you guys are going to be okay. The only thing I will say for Florida, though, like I said, is these waves. You can see as the system rolls through. Right there, that's Lee, obviously. We work our way down in time, and you can see the system, is blasting the Caribbean islands as well as the U.S. East Coast with some big waves. So, it's really for the Fort Lauderdale area and north, essentially, I'd say. Basically the Fort Lauderdale area and north is kind of where we are seeing, some of those bigger waves overall. It seems like to the south it should, be mostly protected from the, the Bahamian Islands here. But yeah, we could be seeing some pretty big waves out there. That's definitely a good possibility. We continue to track our way down in time. You can see how those waves do increase across the Mid-Atlantic. potentially up in the 20-plus foot range. Unfortunately, could be a possibility. And like I said, obviously, as this thing works its way closer to the northeast, those waves are going to increase as well. Let's see here. Leah says, good morning, everyone. Good morning to you. See here. But yeah, no, I think Florida's okay. It's just those coastlines we got to look out for. Let's see here. Vortex Wyatt coming in here with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, man. Greatly appreciated. Saying hi in WW. Hello, Vortex. Hope you're doing good. Say it's hot in Texas. It is, let's see how it is in Kentucky. Once I went out this morning, it wasn't too hot. Right now, it's 70 degrees. It's pretty nice. But thank you, Vortex. It's very sweet of you. I really appreciate that. Coming in here with the support this morning. Thank you so much for that. That is very sweet of you. Much love to you, man. Thank you so much. But yeah, no, it's been hot across a lot of places here, unfortunately. But yeah, like I said, guys, you know, what's going to be happening, once again, we're going to be getting this cold front that's going to be rolling through, increasing those winds over Florida to help kind of steer the storm up here to the north. Wow. Holy cow, look at this. Talk about dry air infiltration. Holy cow. Yeah, the GFS. Look at that. The whole eastern flank is just completely covered in dry air. That is going to rip apart the system very quickly. And my thing is why is the low positioned right here when obviously the center is right here? You can see the barbs. They rotate very closely to the center. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Patricia says, thank you. You're very welcome. Jackson says, hi. What's up, Jackson? Hope you're doing good. Once again, Vortex, thank you so much, dude. That's very sweet of you. I appreciate it, man. Let's see here. Just watch this weekend and move further west and strengthen last minute as it approaches land. Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. I mean, there's like no models to support that. The models are, you know, usually, they definitely do a really good job at giving you an overall idea of what potentially could happen. And none of those models are showing anything like that happening. For example, like I said, here's the latest spaghetti models here. And you can actually see with this guy, you know, continue to the northwest here overall. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. So we continue to the northwest overall, kind of gather a little bit more west, and then right around that day 3 mark, right here for the 13th, so basically 3-4 days out or so, the storm's then going to move its way to the north, as all the models do suggest. It does look like this thing could, or it looks like it will remain just west of Bermuda for the most part, but Bermuda's still got to watch out for, you know, its track, because obviously, you know, even still some tropical storm force conditions could still be a possibility at some point for Bermuda. So make sure that you are watching that, because like I said, I mean, even though the system is a decent ways away from, you know, Bermuda for the most part, it's a very large system, though. It's supposed to be a really big boy. It's supposed to turn into a really big boy. You know, a lot bigger than what it is right now. Like I said, so yeah, that's something to watch out there for. If you're in Bermuda, I would definitely, you know, still monitor the situation here, because it's going to need to be looked at here. But like I said, yeah, the GFS has this thing gradually moving to the north. That's Bermuda right there. According to the GFS model, in terms of the winds, yeah, it definitely does look like those tropical storm force winds will be a possible concern according to GFS. As you can see right there, probably could pick a better color there. So you can see right in here we have these wind barbs around 45 to 50 knots. So that's right around like 55 to 60 miles an hour essentially. So that's going to be well into mid-level tropical storm force potentially, according to the GFS. Because like I said, it's just a massive system, a massive system. I mean, this system is expected to turn into quite a beast. I mean, look at the eye on this thing, potentially. That little speck is Bermuda. Look at the size of Bermuda. You can fit, like, probably, like, a couple of hundred Bermudas in this area here. Massive eye here. Let's see here. Let's see, this thing will be very messy soon. Yes, it will. What weather system is going to help steer the storm to the north is Black Label. So, let me actually show you real quickly. I was actually mentioning this here a few moments ago, but let me go ahead and switch you back over here. So, like I said, what's going on here? Yeah, you might be wondering, like, well, what's causing this thing to steer to the north? So, if you look closely, we got ourselves a low-pressure system up here to the north. You see that? We have a cold front attached to it. And like I said, with the cold front, you get yourself some, you know, warm air that advects to the north. So you get a lot of warm air pulls to the north. Then it starts to wrap around the cyclone, and the cooler air comes from the back and basically moves this way. So, like I said, it's the warm air in front replacing, the cold air is replacing the warm air in front. So the system is pushing down some cooler air, which is driving the front more east. And obviously ahead of the front, there's northeasterlies, which, like I said, those northeasterlies will be positioned here right around September 13th, like we were talking about. See the time up there in the top right, or top left. And like I said, overall, I mean, that's just kind of what it, seems to be doing here. Is obviously those stronger winds are going to, push the storm to the north. It's going to ride kind of parallel to that. And like I said, depending on what's going to happen out here, it looks like it could get very close to Nova Scotia there. It looks like a good possibility. So obviously Nova Scotia to definitely monitor the progression of the storm here. Bermuda, Nova Scotia, and a lot of the northeast should still watch out for this here because, we still, I mean, depending on what model you look at, some models still have the system getting a little too close to my liking towards those regions. I mean, for example, the GFS here overall, like I was talking about here, in terms of those winds, I mean, the wind field's massive. Wind field's absolutely massive. And you can see, according to the the GFS, I mean, we possibly could still see some tropical storm force conditions, across the, areas here towards like Cape Cod, according to the GFS. Now, once again, like I said, that's still a couple days out. This is about 6 days away. We're getting a better all-over understanding of this here. We're getting a better understanding of what the system is going to be doing here. Do I see the forming around Costa Rica? It could move. I don't think that will have anything to do with it. Let's see here. These streams eat up my attention, says Mary. They can be pretty interesting, especially with the weather that goes on. The weather is a very interesting thing. But anyways, yeah, no, that's the GFS. Let's go and hop over here to the European model. We did not look at the ECMWF yet. So let's go ahead and backtrack over here to the main view. So there's the ECMWF. Obviously, we're talking, let's see, we'll do the 00 Zulu. So we work our way down in time. We have this high pressure ridge out here. Obviously, got that counterclockwise rotation. So that is, keeping the system to the west keeping it to the west for the most part. But then, like I was saying, guys, we got this low pressure system. We got a cold front. The winds are riding in front of the cold front to the northeast. Then we got the cooler air rolling in from the back, and then we got ourselves the movement of the cyclone, which moves counterclockwise. So that's the motion of the winds, is right in this fashion. So like I said, with the stronger winds that are going to be in place near Florida, this is going to allow for the storm to steer to the north here overall. It's going to allow for the storm to, move its way to the north and, not continue on the westerly trajectory because of those winds. Like I said, I personally think that those winds could help rip apart the storm as well. Like I said, it's a very difficult system to forecast because, like I said, there's a lot of winds involved, and it looks like there's going to be a lot of potential dry air in the middle life or the later life of it now. Being a possibility. But the ECMWF continues to the north. This is, like I said, getting pretty daggone close up there to Bermuda. Like I said, obviously the GFS showed tropical storm force winds of around 50 to 60 miles per hour being possible. In terms of the in terms of the ECMWF, whenever it approaches near these regions, let's see here, back to the 00 Zulu. Once it gets near these areas, you can see that, it does kind of get into the zone of around 40 knots, which that is still tropical storm force winds. It's just kind of the lower side. So both the American and the European model does support the possibility for tropical storm force winds out there towards Bermuda. That's what I'm saying. Bermuda should watch out for the possibility there of that here overall. That is essentially kind of what we are, seeing here. So, like I said, Bermuda should keep an eye out there for it. It's going to be possible that we could see some tropical storm conditions out there. Once again, it depends on how west or how east it rolls, determining those winds as of right now. But like I said, right now it's possible between the main models, low to mid-end tropical storm force winds is a possibility out there. But anyways, then we're going to work our way back out here to its longer life. So we work our way continuously to the north. Now, this model kind of has a sparing mode here. As you remember yesterday, the ECMWF had the storm, kind of still following along hitting Nova Scotia. Now, according to the ECMWF, it has it kind of curving away from the areas of land. But like I said, whenever it comes to it here, regardless of, if it hits land or not, the big thing is like I said, the big problem is that the U.S. East Coast is going to have to deal with a lot of surging, a lot of, swelling, I should say. A lot of swelling as well as rip current possibilities. That's kind of the main problem here overall. Let's see here. Watching from Nova Scotia, should it weaken with the dry air before reaching us? It'll weaken to an extent, but it should still remain somewhat intact. I mean, definitely got to keep an eye out there for it. Did I hear about the, Morocco earthquake? I did not. 1,000 people dead. Oh, wow. That's not good. That's terrible. It's crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of a lot of crazy stuff going on. You know, natural disaster related. That's very sad, very unfortunate. Let's see here. Yeah, that's just crazy. Why did the National Hurricane Center make it Category 3 if there's no evidence? So the reason they made it Cat 3 is because, I mean, obviously they do have evidence, because they have missions that's been flying into the storm for a couple days now. We got some in the storm right now. We actually have one that just finished here not too long ago, and we have one that's currently getting ready to pierce through the eye. So, the lack of evidence that you're saying, that's not really true, because we have the hurricane hunters that's been studying the storm for a while now, gathering some wind data and pressure data. So that gives us the evidence we need. I mean, like I said, the pressure of 960, that is in the range of around a, you know, low-end Cat 3. So, yeah, like I said, the pressure is, you know, showing that. That's the evidence alone. And like I said, obviously the winds that we're recording to, for example, the latest recon mission that they're flying into it right now, you can see that they peaked right around, you can't really see that too well. Let's see, let me fix this for you. There we go. So yeah, you can see the table now. So you can see the winds were right around like 95 knots or so, which, let's see here, I'm going to pull up a conversion real quickly. So 95 knots. Let's see. So 95 knots would be right around 109. It's actually right there near Category 2, according to that. So 95 knots is around nearly 110 miles an hour, if you estimate it. So that's like upper Cat 2, lower Cat 3 that they recorded here. So that's the evidence we're having, because obviously if this thing was stronger, we would be getting a lot more heavier winds, and they actually recorded that in the western side of the eye wall. But yeah, no, it's like I said, just even the satellite imagery has been showing this thing rapidly deteriorate from those winds. I mean, the system does not look as healthy as it did at one point. It looks like it's trying, like I said, it looks like it's definitely trying to recover itself. A lot of convection still popping off in the, kind of the southwestern quadrant of that central low. So it's trying to recover. It's definitely trying to revive itself right now, in which it will do that more than likely successfully. Because like I was saying, this thing's gonna continue to weaken probably for a little bit of time, and then it's gonna kick back up in strength here, basically starting on the 10th. So starting on the 10th, this thing's gonna be picking back up some strength. But we got some good venting still going on here. You can see those winds, good venting process, going clockwise in the upper atmosphere. The system's, circulation, you can see, is obviously counterclockwise. I mean, it's still holding in there. I mean, it's still still a pretty powerful hurricane. It is still definitely a pretty powerful hurricane. But like I said, you can't see the eye either. The eye is no longer visible because of that weakening state. But yeah, that's the overall evidence we were talking about. Let's see here. I worry about Lee slamming into the upper East Coast, says Frank. Yeah, like I said, that seems like it's still a potential possibility, but like I said, it seems like it's trending more to the east here overall. I'm going to go ahead and hop you guys over here back to the models real quickly. But like I was saying, it seems like that trend is pushing more east. It's getting a little close for comfort according to some of these models here overall. We have the system rolling up north. The ECMWF here, the European model. Let's see here. Back in the Zero Zulu run. Let's see here. Andon coming in here with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, dude. Saying hello. I am going to Hope Miles, North Carolina next week to see my grandma. Will we be okay from the hurricane? Yeah, no, you should be fine. The system is gonna, pass well to the east. It should pass well to the east. You can see here, not really getting near the Carolinas. The only thing is that if you are, that if you are going to the beach, that's going to be your problem, is the beach there. Because like I said, there's going to be some big rip currents and some swelling that's going to be happening, some big waves too. That's the problem. That is the problem overall. Like I said, we have that high pressure though too. That's going to help kind of boost the storm out. We have ourselves actually a low pressure system developing, driving that cold front. Like I was explaining here, we have the low is positioned right here. Cold front digs down, and the winds, they pull up north in front of the cold front, and they go around and they come out from the back. So they kind of do something like a big circular motion. And those northeasterly winds over Florida, those are going to allow for the system to steer north. That's what's causing the system to not just continue moving west, but to steer north, as the models do suggest. So all the models are saying that. So obviously areas here towards the Carolinas are more than likely going to be fine from a direct landfall. Like I said, it's the areas that's going to be potentially impacted is like Nova Scotia, and maybe some of the Northeast could still be in the zone of this thing, getting pretty close to it. So we'll have to just keep an eye on it. But once again, thank you so much, Andon. That's very sweet of you. Thank you for the support. Very, very nice of you. Much thanks. Let's see here. Is there any chance of the hurricane get back to a Category 4 hurricane again? Yes, it actually is forecasted to. Let me go ahead and show you the current Hurricane Center's cone over here. So actually, I need to bring up the cone. This is just the intensity guidance. So there we go. There's the cone. So you can see here, it said the current state. Oh wow, they just updated it too. Now, it's not supposed to get down to Category 2 now. Hold on a minute. Well, let me see the latest info on it. Oh, 11 a.m. update. 115 sustained. So it's still the same with the pressure now at 957 millibars. Oh, wow. It's dropped 6 millibars. Oh, boy. So it's actually getting stronger again. It's picking back up some speed. Like I said, it looks like it's trying to. So it's 957 millibars. Let me go ahead and fix that. There we go. Yeah. So still, still sustained around 115 with pressure right there, right around, it's a 957 millibars. So, but anyways, yeah, no, this thing is forecasted to become a Category 4 again. It's going to continue moving to the northwest here. Kind of hover around strength it shows, maybe slightly starting to strengthen for the morning of the 10th. So basically from now and through the day today, it looks like it is going to just kind of idle for a bit as it's trying to regroup itself and is trying to, get its act back together from those moderate wind shear, that moderate wind shear incident we were having here yesterday. That's going to continue working to the northwest. It looks like it is going to get Category 4 status again, possibly by the 11th in the morning. See, right around 140. So it looks like it's going to, pick up a bit of strength. And then it looks like it's going to start to weaken pretty quickly because it's going to transform its energy from it being a small cyclone to a big cyclone. It's going to grow into a massive, massive storm. So the winds are going to obviously weaken because of that. But the radius is going to get a lot bigger overall. And then you can see the cone has this thing pulling to the north here. So like I was saying, yeah, Florida, I'd even say the Carolinas, you guys are pretty much fine. You guys are good from a direct landfall. Don't expect any landfall out there. So like I said, what's going to happen is this thing is going to pull to the north because of those strong upper level winds. So that's that. Ain't no way swells are expected all the way down past Daytona. Well, there is going to be the threat for swells. I mean, all the way down, basically as far south as like Fort Lauderdale, it looks like. Let me go ahead and show you. Let's go ahead and bring you guys back over here to my main screen here. So this is the ECMWF showing those wave heights and the direction of the waves. So you can see at the current state that we're in, kind of in the current state, the waves aren't too crazy. Across the western Atlantic, right off the coast of right off the coast of eastern United States, you can see that we're talking, between like 3 and 10 or 3 and 10 feet for the most part. Which, I mean, seas out there in the ocean, that's kind of normal. That is kind of normal. But then we work our way down in time, and you can see this big wall of just heavy waves working its way towards the U.S. coast. You can see at this point here, right around that Fort Lauderdale area. So basically right around Fort Lauderdale and up the U.S. East Coast here. We're going to be feeling some big waves, overall some swelling of the water. So obviously higher than sea level rises could be possible, as well as rip currents. Rip currents is going to be a problem, especially for the people who, are going out to the beach. That's going to be a problem. So like I said, just know there's rip currents out for next week, and to avoid getting deep in the water. I mean, you could probably, dip your feet in the water. You can probably do that, but just don't go deep in it, okay? Don't go, like, waist deep in the water, because then you could get pulled back from that. Let's see here. But yeah, no, then we continue working to the west, and like I said, obviously those waves are going to get pretty daggone nasty according to the ECMWF. I mean, some of the coastal regions there, maybe towards like Nags Head, North Carolina. I think North Carolina could see some pretty big waves from this. showing Nag's Head near those regions there, possibly over 20-foot waves. Just right off the coast there, could get up to around 20-foot waves. So it's going to be pretty hefty. It's going to be pretty daggone hefty. And like I said, obviously some swelling is going to be a potential that is going to be expected. And then the system, depending, like I said, depending on where the system, makes or approaches, I should say, that'll determine how big the waves do get. I mean, off the coast of, Nova Scotia here, we actually are currently seeing ourselves the system getting pretty daggone close, possibly with up to 25 plus waves being a possibility according to the latest track that the ECMWF has to show. So bottom verdict is, like I said, yeah, pretty much the whole U.S. East Coast is going to feel this one. The whole U.S. East Coast here, except for like South Florida, like extremely South Florida. Overall, that's that. Let's see here. See, Mara says, thanks everyone, you're very welcome. Let's see here. Cena says, the Hurricane Hunters released a video of the eye with over 500 lightning strikes, 10 minutes. Posted on X, check it out. I did actually see that. I did. It's pretty crazy. Let's see here. We're still recovering from Fiona. I remember Fiona. I was actually tracking Fiona. See, near New Brunswick. We would like for it to stay out to sea. Time will tell, I guess. I hear ya. No, I 100% get it. Let's hope that doesn't happen. That would not be too good. Let's see. Braveheart says, hello, everyone. What's up? Hope you're doing good. Let's see. I'm sure this will attract many surfers. Yeah, unfortunately. Because, like I said, it's not really the smartest thing to go out in this, though, because of the fact, like I said, the rip currents. Rip currents is a big problem, and people could easily get pulled out to sea, which is, life-threatening. Let's see here. Hello from beautiful Prince Edward Island, Canada. What's up, Kevin? Hope you're doing good. Hello from the U.S. Four City. What's up, dude? Hope you're doing well. Say the lightning in North Carolina was intense about 30 minutes ago. Here, I can actually show you this. This is for you, my friend. So you can see there's the radar view across the Carolinas right now. I actually had that up. Got a lot of scattered thunderstorm activity out there, and actually, even on the convective outlook, you do have a marginal level 1 severe weather threat across the areas here in the green, the dark green, and a level 2 threat across the areas here in the yellow, out there towards like Pennsylvania. So there's a shot for a little bit of severe weather today, and obviously we have the Central Plains, a couple slight risk out there as well towards Wyoming, Nebraska, and Kansas for the most part. But that's that. But let's go and take a look at the CMC model, you guys, back over here at the Tropics. Let's see. Kobe says, see, the flood watches they got West Virginia. Interesting. I did not see any of those. Let's see. What's up, Judy? Hope you're doing good. Haven't seen you here in a little bit. See, when our two oldest were young, they were less than knee-deep hopping over waves in Maine, and they were pulled out to sea. Oh, wow. Judy, that's not good. That is not good. And like I said, because of the system and its, just massive size, it's going to really, really shake those waters around. That's for sure. Those seas are going to get very rough. Very, very rough. Like I said, so do not go surfing in this. Like I said, I know it's very tempting, with the waves and stuff, but there's rip current problems. Big rip current problems because of the system's sheer size. So that's that. So just don't go out in it. Because, like I said, it's life-threatening. Let's see. We get hurricane force winds all the time in the winter. That's true. You guys get some pretty heavy nor'easters. Let's see. Don't do anything because there's no leaves on the trees. That is, yeah. Yeah, with leaves on the trees, it allows for the trees to swing around a lot more. That is very true because it creates more drag on the trees. That is very true. Yep. Let's see here. What is the definition of convection? Basically, the circulation of air. So it's basically a thermodynamic reaction between warm and cold air replacing each other. So you have warm air rises, cold air sinks, big conveyor belt circulation. So warm air rises in a cold environment, cools down, starts to sink, heats back up as it hits the surface, and just a continuous circle. That's convection for you. And speaking of convection, let me show you guys the latest satellite imagery again of Lee. Like I said, there's a lot of convection that's actually kicking off there in the center. Like I said, the storm is definitely, looks like a new burst too. Right there, new burst. So, Yeah, no, it's trying. This thing's definitely trying to get its act back together. I'd even say it's possible it could get its eye again today. Take my word for it. Take my word for it. By this evening, it possibly could have its eye again. I think that's a good possibility. Let's see here. We didn't even lose power most of the times during those winter storms. Yeah, well, that's good. Losing power sucks. Especially in, like, Florida, whenever you get tropical systems, because after, it is so humid. So humid. I mean, it's terrible. And with the power outages, you have no AC. It's just a big nightmare. During the hurricane, it's fine. During the hurricane, it's not bad. But, after, it's pretty bad. Let's see here. CAPE often useful metric. C's and CAPE. Yeah, CAPE stands for convective available potential energy. So it's potential energy. Could happen. Let's see. Movement. Caused within fluid by the tendency of hotter, therefore less dense material to rise. Cooler, denser material sinks. Yeah, I mean that's if that's one way you want to put it. I try to do it the most simplified way possible. I try to simplify things as much as I can. Is New England going to get hit? It's still not a ruled out scenario, but it seems like most models are tracking it away. I mean, getting really close still, like, hugging up against the coast potentially. Maybe some tropical storm conditions could be possible, but it seems like, it's pulling a little bit more to the east. I think there's a more of a threat for Nova Scotia than I think there's a threat for the U.S. Northeast. But I mean, what I will say though, like I was explaining, is that literally pretty much the entire U.S. East Coast is going to feel some pretty heavy swelling, as well as big waves and rip currents. That's that. Let's see here. Is New England going to get hit? Depends on if Canada is New England to you. Do I work with the NWS or NOAA? No. But I have friends that work at the NWS and NOAA. I know one of the admins, or the administrators of NOAA. I actually met him through my dad, because my dad, he was a plumber, and he actually met the lead dude of NOAA and put me in contact with him. It's pretty cool. Let's see here. No storm. What do you mean? What do you mean no storm, Aiden? Let's see. Cape Cod should definitely keep an eye out there for. Oh yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, Cape Cod could be a potential suspect of some impacts from this guy. Because, looks at Cape Cod right there off the coast of Massachusetts here. I mean, according to the models, it does get a little close for comfort. Like I said, it seems like the models aren't targeting the Northeast for a direct landfall at the moment. But that does not mean that the Northeast should just ignore it. Let's see. So let's bring down. Here we go. Low end. So there. Oh wow. The GFS goes crazy. Yeah, showing Cape Cod definitely getting into those potential tropical storm force conditions out there, according to the American GFS. And it hits Nova Scotia there. So that's going to cause a little bit of problems. Now, the good news is that there probably won't be any, there shouldn't be any too much surging. The only area I'd say the surging is a big possibility is out there towards Cape Cod. Say for example, hypothetically, it does take this track. Okay, say it continues to work its way to the north. Like I said, the circulation of these guys rotate counterclockwise. So you can see the waves, they're going to be, or the water's going to be pulling away from the coast. So it's going to be, the beaches are going to be a little bit more longer because of the water that's going to be pulling away from the coast because of that counterclockwise circulation. But the thing is, like I was saying, we have this little tail right here, Cape Cod. The waves are going to be pulling right down into Cape Cod. But you can see for the most part, other than Cape Cod, those waters are probably just going to be pulled away from the coastlines. Just pulled away. So that's what we call the clean side. The clean side of the storm is always on the left-hand side because, that's where the winds are actually weaker. That's where there's no threat for tornadoes. The area that, tornadoes are a concern is... the areas that tornadoes are concerned is on the right-hand side of the cyclone. You can already see in the, in the beginning of the right-hand side, there is a lot of stronger winds out there. Let's see here. Fire Island, New York. Like I said, yeah, I mean, literally anybody on the coast of the Northeast should still monitor this, for sure. For main concern, I think, is going to be the threat of those big waves eventually. I mean, you're going to feel those waves happen before the main event. You can actually see the cold front rolling through. Yep. We got the high pressure back in from behind, so that should help. That should help keep it from hitting the Northeast. Like I said, depending on how far west it goes, that'll determine how close it'll get to these areas. Let's see, I bet you Rhode Island will feel a ton from this. Possibly. I mean, potentially. I mean, it should definitely still be monitored. What's the let's see, what category is Hurricane League in Hurricane League? And when will it hit New York? Like I said, we're still monitoring the possibility for a northeast hit, but it looks like near Nova Scotia, and it seems like the models are trending more east now. But the time frame will be right around September 15th. Actually, probably starting, yeah, almost the 14th. Across the 14th, it'll be right throughout the Mid-Atlantic here. So throughout the 15th into the 16th is when it's going to have its heaviest impacts. 15th and 16th across the Northeast. And in terms of the category, well, the models here, they range. They definitely range. Let's see. Lee, according to this, has, as it rolls through, sustained winds of around, let's see, 73 knots. As it makes, quote-unquote, landfall, like I said, as a hypothetical scenario, it's not going to be very strong winds. I mean, it's definitely going to be pretty gusty, but it's just such a large system. You know, the pressure is spread out a lot more. So whenever you have, the closer these isobars are, the more heavier the winds are going to be because of the bigger pressure change over a shorter distance. But since the system is just so large, it can distribute that pressure a lot more wider gaps. It can distribute it more wide, which will, you know, make the winds. I mean, even though there's a really strong low on this storm here, which, yeah, definitely is still a powerful beast, but yeah, it looks like those winds could definitely start to weaken as it approaches the cooler waters and the wind shear increases and all that stuff. How could the jet stream affect the storm? So that's what's going to cause it to move to the north. Is, you know, across Florida. Here, let me show you. Let me bring y'all back over here to the North Atlantic. So across Florida, look how big the system is according to GFS. Holy cow! Goes from a little boy to a complete monster according to GFS. But anyways, but according to the the models and what's expected to happen here, you can see this big amplified jet right here. Let's see, I could probably draw that a little more. So it kind of goes right over Florida and kicks its way up here. So that's going to steer it. So obviously the storm right now is tracking this direction. So it's moving to the northwest. Once it starts interacting with those winds, it's probably going to start to weaken a little bit, and then it's going to start pulling to the north. It's not going to immediately turn straight to the northeast. Depending on how strong those winds are, depending on how strong those winds are, that'll help determine how far it moves and how strong the system is too. Let's see here. How about Cape Charles and Virginia? Well, Virginia's got to watch out. I mean, the coastal areas in Virginia's got to keep an eye out there for it. But the main models does not show this thing getting near Virginia, considering we're going to have high pressure in place across the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic, which will help, which will help the system keep away from the Mid-Atlantic coast. But still, we're going to have those problems with the, the swelling and the rip currents and stuff like that. That's going to still be a possibility, or a problem for those regions out there. Let's see here. Extratropical transition pressure usually drops fast for a time when, it completes like Fiona. Yeah. Once it rolls in those cooler waters, then that's when it's going to start doing that. See, it's like rolling a dice living here. Yeah, it can be. That's how it is a lot of the Gulf coasts and a lot of the the East Coast too. It's like rolling a dice anytime there's a storm that forms. Let's see here. Marcella says, thanks, man. You're very welcome. Very welcome. Let's see. My house is 250 years old. Let's see. It's withstand Dorian and Fiona, so hopefully it'll be okay. That's an old house. Wow. 250 years old. Well, obviously it's withstand 250 years worth of weather, so sounds like a pretty well-built house. Yeah. I mean, 250 years of weather, that's, it's not easy on a building. Not at all. But yeah, like I said, obviously, you know, Nova Scotia should, honestly, at this point, I'd say monitor the situation very closely. Same thing for even, like I was saying, you know, portions of, like, Bermuda should monitor this, too. Let's see here. Oh, the Icon model has it pulling closer to the U.S. Yeah, you see it just goes directly north, according to Icon here. And those winds could be pretty rough. See, 250 years, it's like right before the founding country. Yeah, it's an old house, that's for sure. Let's see here. It's held together by wooden pegs. Wow. That's crazy. My grandfather has an old house. It was built in the 1800s, but I think yours takes the cake for the oldest. Let's see. What's up, Gregory? Hope you're doing good. It says, hi, Andrew. How's Hurricane Lee doing? Lee's doing better than it was yesterday. I mean, it's kind of holding its strength right now. A lot of convection happening in the center, including a new burst that's happening right now. We can see continuous convective bursts happening with the storm here. Like I said, right now it's trying to recover itself from that moderate wind shear we've had. You can actually still see it. See the wind shear down here? It seems like the wind shear lightens up on the eastern side, or sorry, the western side now. But you can still see that winds. Goodness. So yeah, the winds are still on the eastern flank here right now, but it's starting to calm down a bit more on the western side. But it's trying to get its act back together. And like I said, on the forecast here, they did have it going down to Cat 2, but they removed that now in the latest update. We just had a new update from the Hurricane Center here not too long ago, like I was saying. You know, once again, right now it's sustained of around 115 mile per hour winds. You know, sustained around 115 with gusts up to, you know, 140 here. Minimum pressure here is 957 millibars. And like I said, you know, this thing was forecasted to turn to Cat 2, but it is supposed to hold its strength for all today. Maybe start to weaken a little bit tomorrow, or sorry, starting to strengthen a little bit tomorrow. And whenever it comes to, you know, whenever it comes to the expectancy, it is actually forecast to be a Cat 4 again. Coming up here for September 11th. Let's see. Did it ever reach over 200 miles an hour in wind gusts? I think it got close. I don't know. I don't think we recorded any 200s, but I think we got up in near 190. Still, it's pretty bad. Let's see here. Newer parts built on over time. The original place is still here. The foundation is still flexing. Oh, I got you. That's cool. Superstorm says, where can I get some big red soda? They only sell it in some places. Kind of a bit random from you. But like I said, yeah, continuous northwest movement. It is forecasted to pull to the north here overall. So that's what we got to be paying attention to. Let me actually go ahead and show you guys the ensembles here. According to, actually, we'll start off with the main hurricane models, the main spaghetti plots here. So once again, models are very set on this thing continuing northwest for a couple days, and then right around the 4-day mark here overall. Then this thing's, you know, for right around the, you know, the 13th, this thing's gonna pull up here to the north here. And all the models have this thing pretty close to each other. So it's going to be, you know, just to the west of Bermuda more than likely. The main hurricane models definitely do support that. All of them do support that northerly transition. The ensembles, here's the GEFS ensembles. You can see that most of the ensembles are, you know, hovering east, but there is a few There's a few members that gets near the northeast, which let's like I said, let's hope not. But yeah, the middle ground is, you know, getting a little bit close to Nova Scotia there. So yeah, that's something we definitely need to be looking out there for. Let's see. There's a viral video on TikTok about Windy app showing Lee and Margot combining. Can I talk about that? It seemed like a possibility in yesterday's models. In the models now, like the GFS and whatever, the other models too. The models are suggesting that they spread a little bit further apart from each other. So there's Margot, there's this guy. We get a high pressure that builds right between the two, and they both come close to each other, but you know, it looks like that, you know, they're going to be relatively far apart from each other according to the main GFS model here in the latest run. The ECMWF, the European model's perspective, has the storm, you know, still remaining a fair distance away. There's some high pressure that's kind of breaking them up. just kind of reminds me of two people getting in a fight, and then you have the person that gets between them, hold them back away from each other. That's kind of what the high pressure is doing here. It's like, hey, break it up, y'all. But no, it's things are gonna still change on the models. I mean, like I said, we're still talking several days away. I mean, this is the storm's right here for now. I mean, we're talking well out in advance. So there's gonna be things that's gonna change. I can tell you that one. Let's see. Kim says, watching from Nova Scotia. What's up? Hope you're doing good. Glad to have you here. Let's see here. Then the Icon. Yeah, Icon doesn't go out as far. Let's see, we got CMC though. CMC's a CMC. It seems like they remain fairly far away from each other. Shouldn't have too many effects on each other. Yeah, CMC still shows it hitting Nova Scotia there, unfortunately. Let's see. That person was using wave heights. Was it other claiming 3 storms into one? Oh. See, I just realized my brother's name's Lee. I blame your brother then. Here in Columbia City, Indiana, next week, Wednesday, it's supposed to feel like 40. Wow. Yeah, we are going to be getting a cold front, guys. Sure, some of y'all are going to be happy about that. That's going to be playing a big role in this hurricane, too. That's actually what's causing it to steer. So, like I said, right now, the storm's, the movement of the storm is tracking to the northwest, as we're going to see. So, we work our way to the northwest here, you can see there. But then, look what happens. We get ourselves a low-pressure system. Let's see here. Low-pressure system that develops across eastern Canada, which starts rotating counterclockwise. So then we get a cold front that rolls through. So we get ourselves a cold front that rolls through here. And the winds actually pull to the northeast in front of the cold front here. And then the cooler air backs up against the backside. But like I said, yeah, the winds are going to increase, moving to the northeast over Florida. They're going to increase going right over Florida, which is, the strong jet that's going to develop here is going to, prevent the system from continually moving north. So, it's going to do something like that. So, yeah, it's probably more than likely it's going to do a track somewhat like that. But it seems like that is, seems like that's the thing overall. It seems like that is the verdict. Let's see here. Mary says we lost the game. Oh no, that sucks. Let's see here. Kim says, hi everyone, thanks for the shout out. You're very welcome. Like I said, we're here for everybody, y'all. So we care about you guys. Want to make sure that y'all are staying safe and prepared. And let's see, GEFS, GEPS. So here's the GEPS ensembles. I don't think we looked at these ones. I think we looked at the GEFS model, which I'm pretty sure is just a GFS model with a bunch of members. But yeah, this one continues tracking to the northeast. The middle ground, you can see the line of best fit goes right there. There's a couple there's one ensemble that goes right over Cape Cod. That's kind of an outcast considering that this is the only model that supports it there. But you can see the main density of the models is right in here, which is going to be getting, it seems like it's trending a little bit more to the east. Like I said, let's hope it continues with that. Let's see. 26 to 18. Ouch. Yeah, That sucks. Let's see. Do I think the Midwest and Great Lakes region gets early frost? I mean, it's a little hard to tell. But it seems like I was explaining on my winter forecast, the areas up in the north is going to be a little bit more warmer than normal. So that could include like an average winter for the Midwest. Floor ponies on Stable Island. Oh, I remember that from Fiona. Yeah, whenever I was tracking Fiona, I remember there was reports of those horses that were actually in the water, which is terrible. Something like that. Let's see here. JCD says fried chicken. Sounds pretty good, man. Really does. Let's see here. No, but Lee, like I said, Lee's definitely trying to get his act back together here. Golly, look at that beast. A lot of convection happening there towards the center there. Can two hurricanes merge together? They kind of orbit each other to death until one of them dies out. Usually the weaker pressure dies out. It's called the Fujiwara effect. Basically, you get two systems. Instead of coming right at each other, they basically revolve around each other. They orbit like, you know, a planet orbits another mass. But, yeah. Let's see. Are the chances increasing it hits the Atlantic Canada, or are they too early to tell? So, like I said, the chances of it right now is increasing that it goes further east, which would be good. It seems like that's what the latest models have to show us anyways. So, like I said, for example, the GFS, you know, the GFS is still kind of solid on it hitting right across Nova Scotia. Just remember, you know, just remaining east mostly of the northeast there, but still getting really close. Maybe some tropical storm conditions still could be possible according to this model. And then, you know, then dragging east and then kind of fizzling out. It looks like the remains could be sucked up, according to the GFS here, in the long extended range. Once again, this is very far out, but it looks like the, you know, the dying pressure of, or the dying system of Lee could get sucked up by Margot. Oh, and by the way, guys, there's another system that's possibly going to form after this one, too. That's an area we're watching. I don't know if the Hurricane Center has anything on it yet. Let's see here. They do not. Okay. Well, I'm telling you what. We're gonna see something more than likely pop up here in the just off the west coast of Africa. We got ourselves another tropical wave rolling through, which is you know, it's gonna become a disturbance, and we're gonna need to be watching it overall. Let's see here. Yeah, so the GFS shows it remaining south of the Cabo Verde, moving to the west. Here, let me full screen this for you guys. Southwest of Cabo Verde, moving to the west here. Maybe picking up some. It looks like it, yeah, rolls through some pretty warm waters, picks up some strength, and obviously we don't know anything further beyond that. Let's see here. The European model. I remember the European model was showing possible support. Interesting. So, what's going on here? But the European model does show a trough. Does show a little area here of, you know, shows a little area here of low pressure, which that will, you know, it's still supported by the GFS and the European model. Let's see here, the CMC model. Oh yeah, CMC model has it taken off too. Let's see, what about Icon? Yep, Icon does as well. Wow. Yep, so we're going to get a new, more than likely, guys, we're going to get ourselves a new AOI, area of interest, for short, or for long, I should say. So we're going to be getting another one that's going to be tracking somewhere out here. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. Are hurricanes cold or warm? They are warm. Let's see here. Sorry about my harsh language. You're fine. Let's see. Kim says, fingers crossed that leaf shifts. We've had horrible wildfires in June, an abundance of rain, and record-breaking flash flooding in July. Wow. Our ground is saturated. I can imagine. Yeah. Let's see here. Michael says, I would not be surprised to see rapid intensification with Lee. Yet down the road, 29 to 30 degrees Celsius waters. Wind shear is dropping off now. Yep. No, I agree with you. I think it's, the models have it weakening here. I think it looks like it might even be strengthening right now. Oh, that's the wrong system. Here we go, Lee. Yeah, looks like it's actually strengthening. Like, so the amount of convection we're having there in the center, it's trying hard. It is really trying hard here. Like I said, obviously the moderate wind shear we had definitely, allowed the system to, kind of break apart a little bit, lose a bit of, lose overall a bit of strength and stuff like that. Let's see here. It's like a Hurricane Teddy. That was nothing. Yeah. Let's hope not. Let's see here. But yeah, no, I think it is definitely trying to make a comeback here. Like I said, here's the latest spaghetti models, you guys. Once again, continuous northwest motion here for the next, like I said, 3 days or so. Then it's going to pull to the north. Here, remaining just west here of Bermuda. But like I was saying, though, according to those models, like the GFS, the ECMWF, it does show Bermuda, possibly seeing some tropical storm force winds. I'd say it's possible. Shoot, I wouldn't even be surprised if, within the next day or so, if trends continue this way, I wouldn't even be surprised if we do see ourselves, wouldn't be surprised if we see ourselves a bit of, or maybe a tropical storm watch, maybe in a couple days for Bermuda. Possibility. Just have to watch it. Like I said, that's if it continues on its trajectory it's doing right now, or continues on the path it's going. I remember one hurricane looked like a skull. Oh, I know exactly which one you're talking about. I forgot the name of it, but I know exactly what you're talking about because I saw it too. It was a while ago. It wasn't this year. Let's see. Oh, we got a new GFS run coming out. 12 Zulu. Nice. So we'll get some new information here coming in by the next update here today. Let's see. We're going to full screen the models here. So once again, guys, that turn is expected here basically for the 12th into the 13th here overall, because we're going to have a cold front that's going to be rolling through and, increasing the winds across the south, which is going to be, the winds are going to be pushing to the northeast. And with the direction of Fiona, or not, did I really say Fiona? With the direction of Lee, not Fiona. Fiona was last year. This thing, it's going to continue moving to the west, but then get pulled to the north to some degree. Whatever degree is not really unknown, or not really known right now because of the fact, depends on how strong this jet is, the terms, as well as how strong the system is and how broad the system is overall. Matthew, that was a skull? I think it was Michael. Liam says it was Michael. I think it was. See, yes, I did. Yeah, no. We got to talking about Fiona. It's like, come on. Kim says, Fiona caused damages to my home and property and power outages for 5 days. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, I remember tracking Fiona. Fiona was a little nasty. That was definitely a little bit of a, nasty system here. But like I said, hopefully this thing pulls its way out here. Hopefully this thing pulls its way out here to the east. I mean, like I said, it's a possibility. More to the east. Like I said, obviously the models have been kind of trending this thing, maybe going a little bit more east than expected, kind of a similar to Franklin. Let's hope it does that motion. But like I was explaining before, guys, the overall verdict here, those waves are going to be massive. I'm trying to make this a little bigger. Oh. Well, that didn't work. But anyways, yeah, those waves are going to be big across the U.S. East Coast. I mean, for this point here, basically for, September 15th, like I said, you can actually see here that a lot of the coast here, we're talking, at least at least 10-foot waves being possible. 10 to 20-foot waves in some areas along the coast could happen. They could happen. Like I said, for South Florida, it looks like South Florida is going to be, kind of around normal status, just considering the fact that, the system here overall, like I said, the system here overall is going to, or the waves from the system overall is going to be blocked essentially by this. Let's see here. Lewis coming in with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Lewis. Very sweet of you. I appreciate the support, man. Thank you so much. Saying I just heard on KTLA that Jova will have minimum impacts on Southern California. Is that true? Yes, because right now Jova, let's see here. Jova is currently, tracking into cooler waters. The system's going to gradually move to the northwest here, and it's going to actually die out as it approaches cooler waters. So in terms of what's going to happen here, obviously with California, you can see that, Jova is a little far out. Actually, you can't see that. Maybe it'll help if you could. Let's see here. Let's try the Eastern Pacific. There you go. So Southern California is right here. You can see there's Baja California. So the system, you can see, is going to remain really far away from California. So California's going to have you're not even going to be able to feel the storm. You're not going to be able to feel the storm. It's just going to remain a well away from those areas here. So once again, California, there's nothing to worry about this system because you're not even going to feel it. Just considering that it's just going to remain, once again, out to sea. I mean, like I said, it's running in the cold water too. Like I said, the water has to be at least 26 degrees Celsius or higher to be, allowing for tropical cyclone to happen. And out there in the Eastern Pacific, you can see the storm is tracking into those cooler waters right now, right around in here. So you're good. You are good, my friend. But once again, Lewis, thank you so much, dude, for the $5 super chat. It's very sweet of you. Much appreciated. Big thank you to you. That's very sweet. All right, let's hop back over here. So we're going to take a look at the ECMWF. Once again, y'all. Going to hop back over here to the European ECMWF model. Let's see. We're going to North Atlantic view this. So, like I said, the big change from yesterday's run of ECMWF to today's run of ECMWF, like I said, the ECMWF in the long extended range, once again, this is very far out, so a little bit of a disclaimer to let you guys know this thing will more than likely change. But at the very end of that run, like I said, we're talking like 240 hours out, which is a very far time away. But it does show it moving maybe a little bit more to the east there according to the latest run. The GFS is still pretty solid on this thing. Getting close to areas near, let's see. Actually, that's here we go. So, getting really close to it actually hitting the portions here of Nova Scotia according to the GFS. Like I said, the CMC model overall here works its way up here towards Nova Scotia as well. Let's see here. Brian coming in with a Venmo donation. Let's see here. Thank you so much. Brian, very sweet of you. Let's go ahead and see what you wrote. I really appreciate that, Brian. Thank you, seriously. You guys are very sweet. Like I said, we love you guys. Thank you so much. Let's see. Brian says, great updates and insights. Well, thank you so much, Brian. Once again, that's very sweet of you. You did not have to do that. That is very generous. Super, super nice of you. Let's see. I'm going to leave you a heart there, too. I appreciate it. Brian, thank you so much. Yeah, Lewis and Brian coming in here with the support. Thank you, guys. Let's see here. Dang, says Liam. Yeah, a little crazy, huh? The odd one says, hey guys, what's up? Hope you're doing good. Is it hitting Florida, says Justin? No, it won't hit Florida. Because, like I said, let me show you real quickly. Let me show you why it's not going to hit Florida. I'll actually explain you, I'll give you a full-on explanation of why it's not going to hit Florida. So, or why it's not supposed to hit Florida. Like I said, it's about a 99% chance it won't. Never 100%. I don't like to use 100%, but I'm saying 99 because it's, it's gonna happen. It's gonna go away from Florida. Anyways, but what I mean by this is because the system's driving to the northwest, right? Then we have ourselves a bit of a jet that kicks up here because of a cold front that we get going on here. So we get ourselves a big jet of air. Could probably use a better color. Let's use black here. So the system works its way up here to the northwest, but we get this big jet of winds. And what this is going to do is this is going to allow the system to actually turn because of those winds. Now, with those winds as well, like I said, hurricanes and tropical systems do not like wind shear. That's foreign to them. So that's going to probably help weaken it too. The waters, I mean, you still have the Gulf Stream, which is, fairly warm. But there's some pockets from, Franklin that is cooler than the threshold needed for tropical development. So because of these upper level winds, because of the cooler waters, and actually the moisture content, as you see down in time, a big massive dry air just gets sucked up into the right hand side of the storm here, in which that is going to, that's going to help weaken the storm as well, and probably keep it lopsided to one side having convection and the other side being just completely dry with just some winds. But yeah, that's going to be a potential possibility here. Models have been they've been trending that for a little bit now. But yeah, no, a northerly approach is expected here. It's going to happen. I mean, look at this. I mean, the hurricane models, the main spaghetti models you probably have heard of sometime in your lifetime. The spaghetti models has this thing northwest for a while, then right around 4 days from now, then it pulls north. You can see then it pulls up here to the north. According to the main hurricane models, it looks like it should remain to the west of Bermuda, but like I said, you should watch out for Bermuda if you're out there or planning to go there. For this week here, because like I was saying, we're possibly, the system's going to get pretty large. The system's going to be very large at the side, whenever it gets near Bermuda. And according to the GFS and the European model, this thing could fairly well have possible tropical storm activity in Bermuda, yet alone really massive waves. I mean, big swelling and, all kinds of problems. Like rip current swelling is going to be a problem. For example, look at this. So there's a little speck right here. If you take a look at, let's see, I'm going to go ahead and bring you all over here to this. We're going to use the black. So it's very hard to see. You see that little dot right there? I'm going to mark it so you guys can know where it's at. So that's Bermuda, okay? That's where Bermuda's at. So according to the ECMWF, Bermuda is going to get some pretty high waves, maybe over 30 foot. It could be possible. Because you can see that black dot. That's where Bermuda's at. It's kind of in this, it's just after pink, right? So we follow after pink. Oh, shoot, that's even higher than I thought. That's like around 50-foot waves, possibly. Very, 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 very nasty. See, those previous hurricanes got a lot of upwelling. They did out there towards the Gulf Stream. You could actually see it if we look at the surface temperatures. We'll look at that in a second. But according to the, the wave height potential, it could get really, really rough out there. So tropical storm conditions and some big swelling seems to be a good possibility. Let's see here. Does land temperature and humidity feed the storms? Not too much, Kim. Not really. It's the warm waters that the hurricanes love. I mean, it can definitely help spark off some convection, but the overall structure of the storm deteriorates once it rolls inland. I mean, because, in terms of thunderstorms on land, thunderstorms can happen because of the, humid conditions and, the warm air at the surface rising into a cooler environment. Thunderstorms, yes, but the structure of hurricanes, it would die out. Because they are surface dwellers. Let's see here. Track was very far from Boston 3 days ago. Now it's almost right on top of it. Models I've seen in the GFS. Yeah, like I said, it gets a little close to the northeast still, but it seems like the trend is now that the storm is going to remain just to the east of some of those areas there. So you can see the spaghetti models, how they point north. So we are expecting that north turn. There's one outcast that just continues northwest. Like that cold front doesn't exist at all, according to that one. Apparently that member, the cold front doesn't exist at all. But anyways, no, it does pull to the north, remains just to the, let's see here, where's Bermuda? I know you're around here somewhere. It's kind of hard to see because Bermuda's pretty, oh, there it is. Right there. Okay, so the spaghetti models is just to the west here of Bermuda overall. And you can see the spaghetti models in the long range. They have this thing, pretty decently far from the northeast. But like I said, I mean, the northeast definitely, like I said, should definitely still monitor this. It's the areas across the, the south right now. I'd say that you guys are pretty much safe from landfall. Let's see, I'll go and show you. So mostly in these, these areas here, I'm going to go ahead and say you're pretty much safe from landfall happening in those regions there. It's not going to, it's not going to, more than likely, it's not going to impact those areas directly. The threat of it continuing moving to the northwest is very unlikely, because like I said, considering the models now in terms of what we have been seeing and what we are seeing here, let me show you what we're talking about. So, like I said, the overall verdict is, let me go ahead and hop you guys back over here to the models. Like I said, the GFS model, so there is Lee right there. It continues moving northwest, right? We get a high pressure out there, just off the coast of, the southeast of Nova Scotia there. And as we continue working our way down in time, you notice, like I said, we get ourselves a low pressure system that kicks off across, the northern Ohio Valley into, southern, southeastern sides of, Canada there. And so what's going to happen is we're going to get a cold front that's going to develop here. And like I said, with cold front, you get the winds that go in front. So you get yourself, the warm air advection. So warm air pulls to the north here, kind of north-northeast. And then the air goes around, and then you get air that pulls in behind. So that's the motion of, that's the wind direction of cold fronts. So the winds are moving, parallel to the cold front itself. Then they turn to the northwest, going around that low pressure, and then they pull back around, bringing some cooler air to the back of that line, or the back of that cold front. So all that warm air is being replaced with the cooler air. Anyways, regardless, like I said, we have this, this motion of the air. So we're gonna get rid of everything else. But remember, the winds are gonna be moving to the northeast here, which I can show you a visual on it from the GFS here. So there you go. You can see that the winds are going to be increasing. So there's the system right here. That's a low. And whenever it comes to that big jet, you can see that we have, those winds screaming to the northeast, going right over Florida. So like I said, what's going to happen is that this system, obviously, it's going to continue moving to the northwest, but then it's going to start interacting with this this amount of winds. Then it's going to really turn. To what degree it's going to turn, far to the east, we don't really know, but it should remain well away from the mid-Atlantic and southeast coast here. Will it hit North Carolina? No, it shouldn't. No, it should not hit, because like I said, obviously this, you're getting protected by this jet of winds here. That's going to help protect you. So, see, Larry says, use the CMC. Yeah, we looked at the CMC a little bit ago. Let's see. Yeah, the CMC still shows the same thing. That's the overall verdict here. Just gets carried up. Yeah, the CMC actually agrees with the GFS in having it hit near Nova Scotia down for right around the 16th and moving into the 17th. Hitting Nova Scotia there probably for the 17th according to the CMC and the GFS overall. Let's see here. Okay, good. Yeah. So, like I said, it should remain well away from those areas there. But like I was saying, the U.S. Northeast coast, I'd say basically from New Jersey and up, should still watch out for it, for possible impacts on the system. Now, like I said, the whole east coast of the U.S., basically, from Fort Lauderdale all the way up to northern coastal Maine, like I said, we're going to be feeling those waves. They're going to be very, very, large waves, too. And like I said, they're going to be, going right in to the coastlines here. So we're going to see some swelling. So obviously a little bit rising sea level water. So it's going to be a little higher than sea level typically is. And we are going to actually see as well, some rip currents. So don't go out in the water because you could get pulled out in the ocean currents and could get sucked out in the deeper waters, which is not good. So like I said, despite, I understand that, like I said, surfers love those big waves, but know that rip currents are going to be a really big problem. Let's see here. Are there any low pressure systems near northeast Indiana? We got that one that could develop here, mostly to your north here. Let's see here. Storm surge, says DJ. If it hits landfall, it could definitely cause some surges. Like I said, say if it does hit Nova Scotia, there's going to be some surging on the eastern side. The western side, the waves are going to be pulling away from the coast. Right-hand side, they're going to be pushing in the coast there. Gregory says, Andrew, I want to know when high pressure system. Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about low pressure. I thought you said low pressure. I guess I was wrong. So it's to be in Indiana. I really need sunshine here in northeast Indiana. Gotcha. Well, we are going to have that high pressure there. That's going to help steer the storm out there. Like I said, essentially that's kind of what we are looking at. Is this high pressure out there is going to help keep this thing abroad. But yeah, overall for you, yeah, it should be pretty good. See, this storm is unpredictable. I would not be telling the Carolinas they are good. Well, like I said, there's no model. There is absolutely zero models. I mean, even the ensembles and all their members does not have it getting near North Carolina. Look. So, like I said, Northwest, is there any ensembles hitting the Carolinas? No. There's one member that's an outcast that goes, actually still getting near the Northeast. But you can see the main line of best fit continues to the north. That's the GEFS ensembles, okay? And then, of course, we have ourselves the GEPS. Do you see any getting near the Carolinas? No, because we have that big jet I was talking about. We get ourselves a big air that moves its way to the northeast here. So we got that cold front, and that's going to amplify the winds in front of the frontal boundary. That is going to allow the winds to increase, and it's going to push out the storm more to the east. So I don't think, like I said, Carolinas, I think you're good. I do think you're good. And I will say that because there is no model that has it hitting North Carolina anymore. I mean, it is, even the Hurricane Center is showing it, saying it's most likely going to go that way. And in terms of the main models as well, I mean, like I said, we work our way back over here to the North Atlantic. The overall verdict here for is the North Atlantic. The GFS model, you can see that high pressure ridge comes through. We get ourselves that cold front rolls through, the high pressure builds in from behind, keeps it well away from those areas. Maybe getting somewhat close to the northeast, but then kind of getting a little close to Nova Scotia there. In terms of the, like I said, in terms of the ECMWF European model here overall, this keeps it well away from the coast too. So, like I said, that's gonna be the factor here. Let's see here. I'm on the eastern shore of Nova Scotia, says Kim. Well, stay safe out there, my friend. Like I said, just keep an eye on it right now. Like I said, obviously, this thing still has potential to roll out to sea, or just go straight north. Like I said, it's still a possibility. That far out is still a little unknown right in these regions up north. Like I said, we're pretty confident, obviously, on this part of the forecast. In terms of what it's going to do, in this region here. So it seems like we're pretty confident on that region there for the next couple of days. But once we start to work up in this region, that's where there's a little bit of unknowns, a little bit of questions. We just still got to work out here. So just notice for the last day or so, every model was in agreement on the northern turn based on spaghetti plots. Latest spaghetti models do have one that ditches the idea completely. Yeah, I see what you're saying. There is that one. That one. Here, I'll go and show you what we're talking about. So there's the spaghetti models. You have that one that just says, yeah, that's not going to happen. But no, I mean that's what we call an outcast. Anytime you see something, anytime you see one run showing the complete opposite from all the others, that's what we call an outcast. That's something that you don't take into consideration. Let's see here. Kim says we'll be keeping watch on your site for sure. Well, I'm glad to have you here, Kim. Like I said, hopefully you stay safe out there, okay? Like I said, we'll definitely be here to give y'all some information and stuff like that. So yeah, there's one outcast too that shows Margot just continuing west, like just doesn't even steer. Michael says usually it's the nav gym. Let's see. High pressure is to its north is the reason it's moving north. Yep. Like I said, it's the cold front. We're gonna be getting a cold front. Winds are gonna increase across Florida, so it's gonna push the system more to the north. Like I said, that's the motion of everything. That's gonna be the motion of everything. I literally just broke it down for you guys. That's the motion of the atmosphere at the time being. So we're going to see the storm, like I said, pull to the north, or sorry, the strong winds pull to the north, and the system itself is going to continue west and then pull north because of that strong winds up there. Leon says, why are you so tall, Andrew? I don't know. What, 6'3" tall? I'm actually the tallest in my family. Let's see here. Aiden says hit that like button, y'all. Be greatly appreciated, guys. Like I said, we don't ask for much on this channel. But if you do enjoy it, consider subscribing, leaving a like. What's going on off the shore of Alaska? Haven't looked up there. Let's see. There we go, Alaska. Okay, so in terms of what's happening out there, we do got ourselves a little system that's just off the coast, driving some rain, but yeah, there's really not much, nothing too crazy going on out there. Let's see here. Fences, I'm tempted to get some into sip. Yeah, we have our merch in the description. Let's see, why are we getting so much rain in West Virginia? That's a good question. Yeah, because we're like I said, we've had a couple days of severe weather worth out there, which has kind of been the trend recently. I don't like that one model pointing right at Georgia. Like I said, that's an outcast. Don't worry about it. Next run, it'll be gone. What's up, Jim? Hope you're doing good. Dawn says thank you. You're very welcome. Yeah, there's nothing significant going on up there in terms of any big systems or anything like that. Let's see, though. Temperature-wise, though, looks like it's been cooler than normal, but it looks like that things are, you know, for the southern side, here, let me show you. So according to like the GFS and all that, it seems like that southern side could be a little cooler than normal. The northeast side, a little bit warmer possibly. See, I really just want sun in New Jersey. No more rain, just dry. Or no more rain, just dry. Gotcha. Let's see here. Shoot, we've been live for an hour and a half. I didn't even realize we were that long. My goodness. But yeah, here's the current system, guys, in its current state. Let's see here. Susan says, what I recommend for the people out there in Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia is going to be mostly fine. You know, with the system, more than likely, you're not going to feel too much from the system. It's the coastlines that's going to feel it. You know, like I was saying, it's the coastlines that's more than likely going to feel this. Let's full screen this for you guys. So, like I said, for example, there's the new GFS. So you can see, yep, still showing that low pressure swing through, high pressure pulling in behind. So yeah, you can see it still shows that northern motion. But overall, like I was saying, yeah, the system should remain to your east overall, which, like I said, even the western side of the cyclone is what we call the clean side. Winds aren't as strong, and there's no threat for like tornadoes or anything like that. But like I said, it's definitely something, you know, something that's probably going to remain to your east for the most part. You know, I really don't see this thing making you know, direct approach to you. I mean, it'll come a little close to the northeast. Don't get me wrong, but from the latest trends, it seems like it's pushing more and more east potentially. But you know, just over the next couple of days, over the next 2 to 4 days, just keep an eye on it. We'll keep posting you guys on it. Like I said, you guys know we'll be here. Let's see here. Yankee says, I just got on. Can you please tell me where it's going to hit next? Thank you. Very welcome. So the main models, here we go. So there's the GFS, the American model. Continues northwest. Get that cold front kicking up, driving some strong winds, upper level winds moving to the northeast over Florida. That's going to cause the storm to steer to the north. High pressure is going to help the mid-Atlantic northeast at some degree. But then you can see that the GFS has it getting real close to areas near like Massachusetts and Maine and those regions there. And the GFS shows a direct landfall in Nova Scotia, then getting sucked in by the other storm out there. So then we have the European model's opinion. The ECMWF, continuous northwest motion, get that cold front that develops, strong winds increase across Florida, cause the system to pull up to the north, high pressure, helping block it. And according to this model, it actually stays away from the northeast, but it gets a little close to Nova Scotia there, but remains mostly out there. Then we have the CMC model, which is the another model we usually look at here. The CMC model shows the same thing. Cold front kicking up, high pressure builds in. We get that northern motion just to the west here of Bermuda. Bermuda Bermuda has a good shot at seeing tropical storm force conditions. We'll have to watch out Bermuda for that. But then the system kind of agrees with the GFS and going right there next to, just hitting Nova Scotia there. Then, of course, last we have Icon. I don't think Icon goes out as far, which it does not look like it does. But, yeah, you can see that northern motion overall. Got the high pressure. And that's all we got right now. So that's the track of it. Like I said, it seems like, the latest trend is having it do something like this. Something around, these boundaries here. It seems like it's pulling more and more away from the northeast. But like I said, that's no reason to just stop watching the storm because, things are still going to change. I mean, you're going to see things fluctuate for the first couple of days. Then once, it's only a couple of days out, then we start to get more of a clear understanding. Leon says, can we have all your weather equipment? No, because I need it. I need it to do the weather. Let's see here. I need models to go... So some models go 96 to 120 hours. Oh, there's models that go up way more than that. The furthest weather model is the CMC, which goes, like, ridiculously far. Which that's good for climate, but it's not really good for, instant... This is not really good for weather in the immediate range. Very low resolution. Let's see here. Is there a chance it could track to West Palm Beach? It's completely tracked to the north. No, I don't think it is. You talking about Florida, West Palm Beach? Like I said, this thing's not going to come near Florida. The only thing that Florida is going to feel, like I said, including the beaches. Like I said, the beaches obviously is the main thing we got to watch out there for. Basically from, like near Fort Lauderdale and north, essentially, there's going to be some big waves, possible swelling as well. So there's going to be some big waves, possibly, some swelling of the ocean as well, and rip currents. That's going to be the big problem. Yeah, and you can see that, some of Cuba and southern Florida get protected by the Bahama Islands here. What about Jamaica? Jamaica's fine. Jamaica's not even going to be affected by this at all. I mean, you're my friend, or you're in the calm waters. This is not going to impact you at all. So you should be fine. You will be fine with the system. Let's see here. Let's see, 384 hours. I think, yeah, the GFS goes 384, I'm pretty sure. But it's never good to always... It's never... Yeah, 384. It's never good to look out that far, though, because models are very, very inaccurate at that point being. So, yeah, definitely don't want to look that far out. Let's see here. But yeah, no, Florida, I think, yeah, we're not going to get a direct landfall in Florida. Jamaica, no effects at all. Should be no effects at all because this thing's going to be well to your east, northeast, and then you have Cuba and Haiti protecting you from this. Last night there were some strong storms in the Fort Worth Dallas area. Yeah, I saw that. I was actually live whenever there was a couple storms popping off out there. Yep. When do severe storms end? Depends on the year and conditions we're in. Severe storms can happen any time of the year, but we have what we call second spring, which is fall. Fall is usually another uptick in severe weather because we have cooler air starting to, once again return to the northern country, which starts, cooling things down. But yeah, fall usually is a big one for sure. So right around winter, yeah, it's usually whenever things, once we get a lot of things cooled down across the country, that's whenever it starts to stop. Let's see, sometimes in the next few days, I guess. Let's see, next 3 days, I guess. Yeah. Let's see here. Do I see the possibility of storm forming by Panama? No, I didn't see by Panama, but I did see a storm out there. Possible cyclone here. We got ourselves a tropical wave rolling southwest of the Cabo Verde for the next, forming in the next couple of days, potentially. All the models pick up on it to some degree. I think we'll see another disturbance here popping up here from the hurricane center here pretty soon. I mean, like right now, there's nothing right now on the hurricane center for the system. Let's see here. Leon says, thanks for answering me. I appreciate it. No problem. I try to answer everybody, but sometimes stream gets a little hectic, so it's a little hard to. Let's see. But yeah. But alright guys, well, we are approaching 1 hour and 40 minutes of live streaming here in 8 seconds, so I think we are going to call it a stream for now. You know me guys, we'll do another live stream here today, sometime this evening, probably around 8 o'clock or so, right around 7, I'd say 7, 8 o'clock, 7:30, something around there. But we'll make sure to, like I said, we'll go live again later tonight to give you guys some more information on the Tropics as new models come out, stuff like that. But like I said, yeah, we've been live for almost 2 hours now. I think we're going to start winding down here. I think we're probably going to call it a stream here in a few moments. But like I said, guys, once again, if you guys did enjoy it, please consider subscribing, leaving a like. It'll be greatly appreciated. And if you did not already, check out our winter forecast video. We got that out here yesterday. Pretty interesting. And like I said, greatly appreciated. Let's see here. Looks to me like Lee is trying to throw off its outer bands, becoming smaller, more powerful storm. The model seems like the storm is going to become bigger overall. That's what the models have been suggesting. Let's see here. Not looking good. Not looking good for Nova Scotia. Let's see here. How long before it gets here? We're talking like the 16th and 17th. So we're still several days away from it approaching near those areas. So there's a lot that can change between now and the 16th and 17th for sure. Things will change at that point. Let's see here. Andrea says, if you look at clouds on infrared satellite, it's trying to at less. Trying to at less. I know on the infrared right now, there's a lot of convection happening out there towards the, yeah, there's a bit of convection happening out here towards the center still. Trying to get its act back together, from running into that, wind shear. That was a problem for the storm, obviously. Let's see, at least. Let's see. Let's see, look at it. Look, if you look at clouds, it's trying to at least. Oh, okay. Okay, I get it. It's like, wait, what? Let's see here. Kim says, thanks, Andrew. You're very welcome. Don says, see you then. Have a great day. You as well, Don. Let's see here. Jay says, appreciate the stream. Y'all take care. You as well, Jay. Have a great day. Jay, have a great day. Now, we'll catch you guys later on. So we'll be back live here. Once again, 7, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern today. We'll be live again. Let's see here. Kathy says, thanks, Andrew. You're very welcome. John says, I'll look forward to your next stream. Thanks for all you do. You're very welcome, John. Ava says, thank you. Stay safe, everyone. You as well, Ava. Ragtie says, absolutely love your style of interacting with subscribers. Fantastic channel. Oh, thank you. I try to do the best I can. I try to do the best in terms of information and keeping up to date with everybody. Like I said, obviously, if I miss somebody, I'm not trying to, guys. There's just, the channel's been growing really quick lately. Very thankful for it. But like I said, unfortunately, as the channel grows, the more difficult it is for me to get to, everybody. But I'll definitely still try my best no matter what. Let's see here. She wasn't forecasted, yeah, it wasn't. That's the thing. How will Maine be affected? Coastal Maine will probably definitely feel some impacts on it. We'll just have to monitor its progression for, how close it gets. See, love from Jamaica. Please be safe. Well, thank you, Nicole. Really appreciate it. Love from the U.S. to you. See, do it be a hurricane now? Yes, it is a Category 3 hurricane right now with sustained winds here of 115 miles per hour. We have the pressure getting down, I think, to 900. Let's see. 957. 957. But, all right. Well, guys, we're going to go ahead and head over here to the ending screen for now. Like I said, I appreciate all of y'all for joining us. We got to give a special thanks to our donators here for today. For this morning's live stream, greatly appreciated to our supporters. We love you guys. Let's see here. So, we had Vortex coming up to support. We had Andon, Lewis. So, Vortex, thank you so much. Andon, thank you as well. Lewis, as well, thank you so much. And obviously, we had ourselves a Venmo donation as well coming in from Brian with the support today. Thank you so much, Brian. So, big shout out goes to Brian, Lewis, Andon, and Vortex. Thank you guys so much. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Like I said, it really helps us out. It really helps keep, this is my job, so this helps with everything, all my expenses, and helps keep the programs up. So, like I said, just know it's much, much appreciated. But, like I said, you guys know that you don't have to do any of that. Just y'all hanging out and being weather aware, that's all we care about here. So, and that's all we'll ever care about on this channel. But, all right. Well, you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Like I said, we'll catch you guys later on this evening, later on tonight. So, we'll keep you guys informed with the Tropics. So, next update, we'll have some more information on, the models and stuff like that. But, all right. Well, the stream's got to start heading off here, y'all, in 2 minutes. So, go ahead and say goodbye to your friends, family, anybody else in the chat. And until next time, my friends, we will catch you guys later on. All right, y'all. Take care. Peace out, my friends.